everyone, I'm Nicola from YHM, the yoga and hypnobirthing midwife, and today we're doing yoga for the spine. So this one's going to be quite a short video, but we're going to do a few nice exercises just to release any tension in that area and increase our range of motion and flexibility within the spine as well. We don't need anything fancy at all, so just a yoga mat if you have one, but if you want to do it on some carpet or a towel as well, please feel free. Please just apply some caution if you do have any kind of existing spinal injuries or limited range of motion in the spine, then please just use the modifications and just be really careful as well, and maybe just seek a bit of advice before doing this video if needed. So let's get started. So we're going to start at the back of our yoga mats today. I'm going to start seated in Radrasana. So we're going to sit on our heels like so. If this is uncomfortable for you, then feel free to sit cross-legged instead, do it on a chair, or even put a pillow in between the heels and your bum as well. So make sure we're comfortable to begin. We're going to bring the fingertips by the side of the hips. We're going to inhale, we're going to open the chest, arch the spine, and then chest leading, we're going to start to bring the body down towards the yoga mat and release the forehead over. And then reverse and curve the spine and slowly roll on up. So just really gently warm up the spine and repeat. So arching the spine, chest leading, coming forward. And then curving the spine, chin to chest, slowly rolling up. And just begin to make this a little bit bigger now. Lovely. Inhaling to arch. Exhaling to curve to come up. Just feel free now to make this just in time with your own breathing. Let's just do two more. And last one. Lovely. We're going to dive forward now and come into all fours position. We're actually going to walk out the knees to be in line with the hips and do a classic cat-cow. So this one is probably my favourite one to do for the spine. So we're going to inhale, we're going to arch the spine looking forward. Exhale, curve the spine, chin to chest. Lovely, and again, inhale into arch. So you can go a little bit deeper with each one that you do as we gently warm up the spine. Exhale, curve the spine, chin to chest. Lovely, let's do one more. Inhale into arch. Exhale into curve. Lovely, and then come into neutral now. We're going to do a granddad gardening. Love this one just for the name. So we're going to walk the hands in and roll on it. We're going to bring our hands to the hips, push the hips forward, and then we're going to roll the shoulders forward, back and down, opening through the chest and then leaning into a back bend. This could be however big or small you need it to be. As we start to go a bit deeper into the spine. Option to stay here or tuck the toes underneath and reach back for the heels to go deeper into that spinal stretch. We'll hold here for a few breaths. If it's too much, feel free to come out of it and take a child's pose, or even come out of it and then go back into it when you're ready. As we exhale, we'll see if we can push the hips further forward and release further into that stretch. Should feel really good for the chest and the spine. Feel free to close your eyes as well here if you like. Lovely, let's take one more breath. If you've got hold of the heels, then slowly bring the hands back to the hips and then really gently rolling back up. And we're just going to go do a counter pose and come into child's pose now. So releasing the toes, bringing the knees as wide as the yoga mat and walking the hands forward and bring the forehead over towards the yoga mat and releasing over here. So it's really important that we do counter postures as well when we do yoga, especially intense ones for the spine. just so we're still bringing balance to the body. Lovely, then walk the hands back in and slowly roll them up. Lovely. Bring the knees back together now. And we're just going to do a little kind of flow sequence combining those few postures that we've just done. So to start, we'll do our simple arching and curving of the spine from Radrasana or cross-legged if it's not comfortable for you. So arching the spine, chest leading, coming forward and rolling on up. Inhale to arch. Exhale to curve. Let's do one more big inhale and slowly exhale. This time I'm going to inhale the arms up to the ceiling. I just take a quick stretch here, so inhale, stretching the arms up as much as you can. Exhale to release them behind you. Bring them forward and come into our all fours position. Bring the knees as wide as the hips. Inhale to arch, back to cat-cow. Exhale to curve. Let's do two more. Inhale into arch. Exhale into curve. And one more. Inhale into arch as my hood comes up. Exhale to curve. And inhale neutral. Walk the hands in. Roll up through the spine and back to Grandad Garden. Hands on the hips. Hips forward. Roll the shoulders forward, back and down. And coming back into our back bend. Option to stay here or untuck the toes under and reach for the heels. Push the hips up and release through the chest and the spine. One more breath here. Bring the hands back to the hips, rolling on up. Releasing the toes and dive forward into our child's pose. Forehead towards the mat. Release over here for a couple of breaths. Walk the hands in and slowly roll through the spine. Perfect, well done. We're going to slowly make our way to our backs now to do a bridge pose. So no rush. Slowly rolling through the spine and onto your back. Okay, we're going to walk with the feet in. Again, being about hip width apart. Plant the palms by the side. Inhale. We're going to lift the hips off the ground, coming into bridge pose. Same as always, so inhale, exhale, so you can push those hips further up towards the ceiling. Option to stay here, or we can interlace the fingers underneath the back and use that to really open up the shoulders and release the hips higher towards the ceiling. Option to close your eyes here if you like. We'll hold here for a few breaths. See as your next exhale, if you're going to lift the hips a little bit higher. Then slowly releasing the hands. And then tuck the tailbone under and slowly release the spine back towards the ground. Lovely. We'll just repeat once more in bridge pose. So inhaling, really push through the palms here. Bring the hips up. Option to interlace the fingers here if you like. Use that to open through the shoulders and the chest. Lifting the hips higher. Closing the eyes here if we like, and just return to that deep breathing. Lovely, one more breath here. Releasing the hands, tucking the tailbone under and slowly rolling through the spine. Okay, we're going to bring the knees into the chest now, interlace the fingers and bring them just below the knees and slowly just rock gently side to side. So you feel really nice after we've just done our bridge pose. Lovely, and release. Fab. So we're going to have an option to do a full wheel now. If this isn't within your practice, please just feel free to repeat the bridge pose that we've just done. And I always say there's no medals in yoga, so there's no medals for being able to do or not do this posture. It's really important that we listen to our bodies and really gradually build up our practice as well. So if it's something that is in your practice, then feel free to join me. If not, please repeat the bridge pose we've just done. So I'm just going to bring myself a little bit more central to start. We're going to walk the feet so they're in line with the hips. This is really important. Feet pointing forward, so you've got a strong foundation. We're then going to bring the hands, I'm going to get my lovely ponytail out the way. And we're going to bring the hands just kind of in line with the ears. And then we're going to inhale, we're going to lift our hips up to come onto our head if we can. We can stay here if we like. This is a good foundation to be able to transition to full wheel. But if we can, we're going to inhale and work to bring the hips up and straighten through the legs and the arms. And we'll just hold here for a few breaths today. Deepening that breathing. Closing the eyes as well here if you like. Lovely, one more breath in. Then slowly lowering our head back down towards the mat. Releasing the head back down. And same end, rolling through the spine gradually and releasing the hands back down. Lovely, we're going to repeat our counter pose now. So bring the knees in towards the chest, interlace the fingers just below the knees. Gradually bring the knees in towards us. Closing the eyes here. Taking a few deep breaths. Feel free to add a bit of movement and rock to side if you like. Lovely. And release, releasing the feet back down to the yoga mat. Okay, we're now going to extend the right leg out. Bring our arms out to the sides at shoulder height, palms facing down. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to release the left knee over towards the right. So we're going to come into a spinal twist now. So releasing that knee down. We want to keep our left shoulder planted and grounded into the yoga mat beneath us. So it's important that it doesn't come up. We want to plant that shoulder down. And then we're going to start to release that knee towards the ground. And look over towards the left hand. Closing the eyes as well here if you like, once you've got a comfortable position. And just breathe deeply into that spinal twist. Option to take the right hand just below the left knee and use that to guide the left knee lower towards the ground. Remember to keep that strong foundation with that left shoulder rounded into the yoga mat beneath you. Lovely, 3 more breaths here. Let that exhale guide you to release further into that stretch. And slowly releasing the hand if we had that on the knee. And then rolling back up to centre. And we'll just swap sides now. So this time bending the right leg, straightening the left. Inhale. Exhale. Release that right knee over to the left. Keeping that right shoulder on the mat. Palms facing down at shoulder height. Then when you're ready, looking over towards the right hand now. And just see where your knee naturally falls. So it doesn't matter how far it gets, just see where it naturally falls for you. option to stay here, or take that left hand just above the right knee and use that to guide it further towards the ground. Just feel that release of any tension in the spine as we twist gently through the spine today. Again, closing the eyes here as well if you like. And using that exhale to guide you, so as you exhale, try and release further into that stretch today. Lovely, 3 more breaths here. And slowly releasing the hands, coming back up to center. Bending both the knees, bring them into the chest. And again, just gently rocking from side to side. Lovely, we'll just do a little rock and roll, we call it, to come up. So we'll cross the feet at the ankles and plant our palms on the mat beneath us. And just use that to rock and roll a few times if you like. This is really nice for the spine. Last one to come back up to center. Lovely. Fab. Thank you so much for joining me for today's class. I hope you've enjoyed our yoga for the spine today. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. There'll be lots more yoga videos to follow. I'll be releasing a new one every Friday. So please feel free to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with all the content that I'll be releasing. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you. Namaste.